None of you operate influence like a business, but you proclaim yourself to operate like a business. Their idea of influence is posing for boring photographs that literally take 5 minutes. And then in their mind, they work so hard to put it out onto platform. I literally spend all day researching, educating, and doing knowledgeable, effortful events to create content while living a full-fledged life in one day is what you do in the entire month. One day over here is what some of you do in the entire month. Yet how does that piece of shit have all that money and all that clout? And when they post that one piece of content, no one likes that shit. Everybody gets pissed off and angry. And then nothing gets done to stop these people from being themselves. That is a very bad thing when you're a fucking evil sack of shit. Being yourself in a filter with a mask, when the reality of under all of it is all about money. While you call yourself an American, but what you represent, Luber, is not an American. These people have no thought or care around their audience or their customer. And then they say words like beautiful, hardworking, hustle, effort, all these things while showing you money and cash to convince you through other people, through fake conversations of fake friendly, that they're the one to do business with. However, they're not the ones to do business with. They're shallow, they're sick, they're selfish, they're low class. They're nothing. They think because they're from LA that means something about them. So these LA fucks now have all the money, all the clout, all the fame, and now they're trying to take the education, but they only have a middle school education. They don't even have a yoga background. They don't even have a nutrition background. And then they're given opportunity to call themselves doctors when they're not real doctors. They educate on nothing when it comes to health and wellness. And then they just use words like brain function or autoimmune disease to drop it in the conversation to sound educated. And then use their softness to get you hooked to the info while they're so friendly and kind, while ensuing a meditation practice to put you at risk for the vulnerabilities of demons and diabolical sickness as they give you their sickness away to you. The reason why you don't have any problems having peace of mind is because you hand it to everybody else. They hand it over to everybody else. At least they used to attempt to hand it over to everybody else. I'm not sure what part of this that people do not understand, that when you are being seen in front of thousands and millions of people, you do not live a peaceful or restful life. I do not give a shit. Obviously, Gary Vee, you do not live a peaceful or restful life. You just suppress it so that you can make it through the day, called a mask and a filter. Because if you were actually living authentically, when someone pissed you off, you would have words with them and you wouldn't struggle with kind candor. You wouldn't pose for that shit with Mona Van. You wouldn't go to Paris and France and do that erotica shit on camera if you were so-called a humble person. If you were a humble person, that bitch would not constantly be taking photos with that ring. That means you're not authentic to who you are. If you were a humble person, you wouldn't be staying in Qatar in those fancy hotels with that fucking bitch in front of a bunch of cars while she gets a electric car and everything that has to do with the Democratic Party. If you didn't care about politics, you wouldn't be at the immigration location talking nonsense to a bunch of immigrants. Your fiance wouldn't be at the U.S. Capitol either if you were not involved in politics. Everything is fucking politics, especially when you're dealing with these elitist pieces of shit out of New York City and LA. However, with the Democratic Party like AOC, who went to the Met Gala, she thinks that she would rather be a television producer than an actual leader to the country, because a television producer has an easier life than a politician, because that's how fucking annoying you all are. That's how the influencer model has created politics. They don't have just opinions. They have dictatorships of controlling you into believing and thinking what they want you to think to create mental illness. It is not normal thoughts to think about yourself as a boy when you're a girl. I'm a girl. Look at me as a boy. Now look at me, I'm a girl. I'm 100%. These are titties and I got a vagina down there. I'm a fucking girl. I have children. I'm a girl and only girls can give birth to girls. Excuse me. Only girls can give birth to children. Boys have sperm and girls have an egg, and the sperm flies and enters into the egg. And then a baby starts to form. And I'm sorry that you're so disrespectful and you'd rather have loins of lust than have human life. And that's the message that the Democrats are sending. They would rather have the intensity of loins of lust of what Monavan tries to do with every diabolical conversation of dry, monotone, weird-ass fucking shit while Gary Vee farts out her name on a regular fucking basis while all of you just stand there and say, I really don't fucking like her. You tell her you don't like her, but will she stop? I said that she wasn't going to stop, didn't I? That's what she used to do to me until I fucking had enough to where I fucking gave her what she tried to give me. However, my shit's more powerful because I got shit to hand over to her ass. It's called being a fucking leader when she's a pussy-ass piece of shit. However, all she does to cover that shit up is go to another gala, another fucking trip, another fucking brag, another fucking picture with her fucking diamond, and Gary Vee says, that's my fiance. Imagine what that's like. Can you show some empathy for that? Can you have some fucking compassion for me? This has nothing to do with his motherfucking ass. It's everything to do with the education and the information that I have to deliver to you as audience, yet you as audience are literally standing there with your hands out ready to stroke that bitch's clit because she's, what, nicer than me? That shit's nice? To put your ass to sleep, to abuse you on a regular basis, to where you never grow as a person, to where only she occurs as if she's a good person, where she occurs this and occurs that, occurs this, and then talks shit about you while she tries to overthrow the fucking country? And then you're all just gonna what? Tell me to be quiet? We live in a free country, and this is exactly what a free country looks like. However, Shoo Choo community guidelines me because he doesn't like what I have to say, questions my integrity when it's his integrity that's at question. That's why you get community guidelines, because it has nothing to do with your content and the situation of me. It has everything to do with the fact that he's afraid of getting caught. So Shoo Choo community guidelines my content as the example for integrity and miss blah, 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 so that he doesn't get caught. So I take my content and I put it over on YouTube. And then when YouTube questions my shit, they're actually better at their community guidelines. And sometimes I do not care if my shit gets community guidelines. But we all know that every platform has corruption within the product. It's a product. You're the product within the product, but you're a person. This is called a product. This is called a product or a brand or an image, not you as a person. Think about it. This as a product, not you as a person as a product, which is how they get away with fucking everything. And I'm going to ensure that they're going to feel everything that they've done. Because they're not products, they're people, and people have emotions, and people have feelings, and as narcissistic as you all are, the narcissism is now being exposed, and you can't run, you can't hide, you can only pretend to run and hide. You can only pretend to run and hide Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and Kamala Harris and AOC and Newsom and Kim Kardashian and Anne Hathaway and J-Lo and J-Law and all you other bitches who had an opportunity to change the world, and what you decided to do instead was cover your own ass and then continue to abuse on a deeper level to the people across the entire world. With Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift all up in our fucking faces. So what does that fucking tell you about what's actually going on in the fucking world right now, you dumb motherfuckers?